tell me, what is your name and where are you from?
I'm Wolfgang. This is Carson. We live in New Mexico, Truth to Consequences, and in Mandarin, Florida.
And what do you do for a living, Wolfgang?
I'm happily retired.
So tell me, what was your first bike and how long have you been riding?
My first one was a Ducati 125 Bronco when I was 16 or 17. And I've been riding off and on since then, and I'm 70 now. And it was a good experience of a bike that you can't really pull the clutch in and hold it because it would keep creeping you into the intersection. So I learned to kick it out of gear before I got there.
So what type of riding do you normally do now, and what motorcycles do you have now?
I've got a couple of GS's, and I have a Euro, which is a little bit of dirt and a little bit of street. It's a two-wheel drive unit, gear up. It's particularly a lot of fun. The bike that I really like also is a WR250X. Although it's only a 250, it is so diverse and so user-friendly and equipped to go almost anywhere according to what kind of tires you want to put on it. The only problem is I can't take him. It's really not suitable for a sidecar. But I do like sidecars, particularly because he does ride with me and I can carry a lot of stuff. Hammocks and whatnot, and a lot of water for him when we go off the beaten path.
So does Carson have some of those doggles when you ride?
Very much, but not doggles. I have made for him from human goggles, and they go around his eyes, and so when he rides and he bumps his head on the sidecar, they don't get caught in his eye sockets. They're very big, and there's a lot of movement around room. It is attached to this, and the other strap goes underneath the neck. Later I can show you if you'd like to see them.
Okay,
But
cool.
anybody can make the modification for their dog. It needs to be a bigger dog, not a Chihuahua or a Doxy.
The Chihuahua, they call that the tank bag dog, huh?
Yeah, actually that's right. I've seen a couple of them stick their heads up out of tank bags when I didn't even know they were there. Yeah.
So tell me, out of your long riding career, what are some of the places that you've ridden?
Ooh, probably the strangest places was Guatemala and going through Mexico, and I like very much Spain. And the European riders don't have near the car problem as we have over here. Over here it's almost as though a motorcycle seems to be a problematic to a person in a car or a truck. Where in Europe, you make a quick pass and a good maneuver through traffic and nobody got hurt. A lot of the drivers think, hey, good luck, hey, that was a good maneuver. But in this country, someone makes a maneuver and they wind up in front of a car, the guy lays on the horn as though, I can't do that with my Mercedes, what the hell are you doing it with whatever that is? So I think it's jealousy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not road rage, it's just jealousy.
Two-wheel jealousy.
Two-wheel jealousy, yeah. Why not? But there's also three-wheel jealousy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does any one experience stand out most, and if so, why?
Gosh, there's been so many. That's the problem about being so old, and I have forgotten most of them. But I have met probably nobody that I didn't like on a sidecar. I'm sure they're somewhere, but maybe when they get in their sidecar, they go back to being a nice guy or a nice woman. Some motorcycle people are different. When they get there, they form themselves into the rocket that they're riding sometimes. And that leaves a bad impression, mostly to the cagers. And there's a lot of stereotypes and everything, even the cars, my goodness. Some people wonder, why is that bald-headed old man in the Corvette? He's not going to pick up anybody. But maybe he just likes it. You know, it's like, why am I in a sidecar more often than on two wheels? I just like it. It's more user-friendly, and it does get a little bit of more of a friendly response. People stop traffic and let me in when I'm in my sidecar. So these are things I found that when I'm in a sidecar in America, people are much more conducive to be friendly to you. In Europe, you're out there on your own, but they don't take they don't take offense if you make a maneuver in Europe like they do in America. But for the most part, I think the Americans are there's a transition happening. More and more people that not everybody's a wannabe Hell's Angel. That was kind of the 60s, 70s, and 80s movies. And they'll say somebody will come up with another good movie about sidecars like they did with the dogs. Try to do something like that with some people. That would be equally fun.
So tell me, what is one valuable lesson that riding motorcycles has taught you about life in general?
Preparation. As much as you just want to jump on and do something, whether it's a financial understanding or jumping in the water, you better know how deep that water is. And with motorcycles, it's your responsibility to make sure you can get a flat tire on a motorcycle. That'll be your last experience. Usually in a car, it's an inconvenience. It's just little things. I'm paraphrasing, but I find that I should be, even back when I was a kid, I walk out and I see a flat tire, that's my fault. Not that I picked something up. I should have checked it, and I didn't. I'm going to be late for school. The point is, a little bit of preparation with motorcycles can go a long ways and giving you a lot better day than getting stuck somewhere or worse.
And is there anything you care to add?
No. I just think that if people get tired of motorcycles, step back away from them. Don't sell them right away, and then come back to the one that piqued your interest, if you still have it in the garage. And I was going to get away from motorcycles altogether, and I found that sidecars enabled me. I got hurt a few times, and I had a little bit of a balance issue and a vision issue. With a motorcycle, you really have to rein in your riding, or you have to step up your awareness. And with a sidecar, it's in between an automobile and a motorcycle. You still have to go through the mechanics of a motorcycle to get it going, but you have to be more aware of that 200 or 300 or 400 pound appendage you have out here on your right, or some places on your left. And if you've got precious cargo in it, you got to be aware of it. So I keep riding, and it keeps me a little bit sharper than if I just stayed home and climbed in my Sprinter and drove down the road, which is a good vehicle but boring. Now, motorcycles, sidecars, they do extend quality of life, I think, if you behave yourself, and again, preparation.
I agree. That's great advice. I know quite a few people have had incidents happen to them, and they just gave up on bikes altogether.
No.
And I think putting it aside for a little bit and regrouping, personally, it's great advice.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's, and that bike isn't really going to go too far bad if you let it sit for a handful of months. You may have to take it to the dealership to clean something up, but it's better than buying another bike. And it doesn't hurt for you to crank it up once in a while. It's sort of like I grew up absolutely hating liver. Of course, I still hate liver. But there are foods that we mature to, and sometimes we can find a new interest in the same old motorcycle that we got away from, because we may credit it to breaking our leg, but it was us that broke our own legs. And it may be a bit of a renewed relationship. Get back to it on your own, and then if you don't like it, go ahead and get rid of it. You're not going to get much for a used bike, or certainly not much for a used sidecar anyway, but don't get rid of it, not right away. You never can tell. You might have a grandchild that wants to find out why you were having so much fun, and now you're not. It's worth it.
True. Well, I appreciate you taking the time.
Our pleasure.
Nice to meet you, Carson.
Good time. It's good.
And safe travels.
Thank you. You too.